Hello and welcome to another insightful episode of the program NAFDAC and Your Health. This is where you get up-to-date information about how NAFDAC is fighting daily to safeguard the health of the nation. My name is Tosin Omolaja. This week on the program, we turn the spotlight on the issues of antimicrobial resistance as it permeates within the human, animal, and environment ecosystem, especially with regard to the use of antibiotics and other additives in animal farming in Nigeria.
There are standards, again, that are already given in terms of the level of antibiotics that should be in poultry. Let's take poultry. Many countries are doing away with even antibiotics or hormones in veterinary, because it's not just antibiotics. But I will talk on both. Let's talk of antibiotics in veterinary medicine. People go and buy human drugs from chemists, from pharmacists, and concoct it to give to their poultry, to give to their livestock. And we think the more we add, the better. So we are now going above the level, the permissible level, despite the fact that it's not good at any level now. Because when I eat a poultry, chicken with antibiotics, I'm already taking the antibiotics. And when I keep eating the chicken with antibiotics, I'm eating it every day. I'm taking in antibiotics every day at small levels, very low levels. And if I have infection, the microbes will get used to that low petting, I will call it petting levels. You are petting them. And when you pet them for so long, they develop resistance. They develop a protein coat around them. So it doesn't affect them when you now use the right level. That is what is called, or part of what is called antimicrobial resistance. So when you now have infection and you now use the right level, it doesn't work. And then the person may die. That is why it is extremely important to control first the level of antibiotics permissible in livestock until we get to a point where we do away with it completely. The same thing with hormones. People use hormones to make the poultry or the livestock bigger or more productive. They use it in fish. But whatever you give to chicken, whatever you give to fish, you're taking. And if I'm taking hormone from fish, on a daily basis, it will start changing my own cellular components to the extent that young children that start taking it, they may start getting bigger at a premature age. So that is the problem of food and why I'm very particular about it. A lot of children have antimicrobial resistance taken from their parents, and 50% of them die. That's how serious it is. We can transmit it, that resistance, to our own children, to newborns.
The devastating effect of abuse and misuse of antibiotics cannot be overemphasized. And so, global health bodies set aside a week to draw attention of the world to this problem, with the hopes of eliminating the problem of antimicrobial resistance.
Some of us are aware of or have been hearing about antimicrobial resistance. So initially, an ordinary disease, a simple antibiotics or any of the antimicrobial can treat. Now, people have started experiencing sometimes the normal dose, it doesn't work, or normal antibiotic doesn't work. All this is the issue of antimicrobial resistance. And one of the best strategies to do that is the promote prudent and responsible use of antimicrobial use. So that prudent and responsible use of antimicrobial use is the best step, and it is as part of the strategy to combat antimicrobial resistance globally, a week has already been declared by UN through the major bodies, the tripartite body of WHO, then Food and FAO, that's the Food and Agri Organization, and then the OIE, that's the World Organization for Animal Health. So a week has been set aside in November, 18 to 24 of every November is set aside as a World Antimicrobial Awareness Week.
We want to actually de-emphasize the use of antibiotics alone. It's not only antibiotics that becomes resistant. That it's not only bacteria that become resistant to antibiotics. All antimicrobials, including antiparasites, antivirus, antifungal, all of them have the tendencies of becoming resistant to their medicines that we use in treating these illnesses. You know what it is? You have a particular disease that is curable. It's curable. You have drugs that could cure this disease, but you're using these drugs that could cure this disease, and they are no more responding to this cure. So what that means is you have prolonged hospital stay. You keep, if this drug is not working, you have to go for a more expensive or a more stronger drug that would have probably bad or devastating effects on your health. You are spending more in the hospital. You are buying stronger drugs, or sometimes it could even lead to death. Because we've seen cases whereby somebody just have a slight cut. The slight cut gets infected, and they try, medical officials tries to treat this particular patient for several months. This wound is not getting healed. It's been infected with a resistant strain, and they've been using all sort of antibiotics on this particular patient, and eventually this man died. That was just from a cut. So it can lead to devastating effects. Then you could even spread this disease from one person to another, because antimicrobials are supposed to help us out when we have issues with our health. When we have bacterial infection, we have fungal infection, we have virus infection. They're supposed to be our last resort to, help us out of the sickness. Now imagine that we have overused and misused these agents. So at the time that we're going to be needing them the more, they are not working there for us. We have this disease, it is curable, but the drugs are not working. And some people like to tell me that, we have so much of fake drugs in our society. No, NAFDAC is doing a lot to make sure we have, effective drug in circulation. That we are making sure. So if you are buying a drug that is supposed to treat a particular disease and it is not working, you might have to start asking yourself so many questions. What have I been doing with this particular drug in the past? Have I been misusing them? Have I been handling them inappropriately? Have I been discarding them anyhow? Because we found out that there are lots of other factors that could also still perpetuate this antimicrobial resistance, because it is not a standalone thing that whatever I take alone. What the environment, the animal in the environment, and we in the environment interact together. So the three of us have this level of interaction that will, either we like it or not, none of us is an island. I am not, the human component of the environment is not an island. The environment itself is not an island. The animal population is not also an island. So we are all together in this together. So if we all take this responsibility of handling antimicrobial with care, then I'm sure we would have a good laugh at the end of the day. Because the theme for the year is antimicrobial handle with care. But the specific theme for human health is united to preserve antimicrobial. And I know that the OIE also have a campaign going on right now, which is the We Need You. The We Need You campaign. That means we need you need me to preserve and handle antimicrobial with care.
This week is very, very important, cut across the human, animal, and environment. So therefore, I really call on the general public to listen to their health personnel, professional, healthcare givers on the advices they were given on the prudent and responsible use of these antimicrobials in order to prevent the future problem about this antimicrobial resistance.
We'll go on a short break now. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you are just tuning in, you're watching NAFDAC and your health. To improve the chances of antimicrobial resistance and indeed other forms of resistance in human beings, NAFDAC has placed a definite ban on some animal feed additives that have been proven to cause or lead to such resistance in humans, and this is being championed by the Veterinary Medicine and Allied Products Directorate of the agency.
Animal feed additive is a substance that is intentionally added to feed during production, usually in small quantity for the purpose of fortifying it with certain nutrients or stimulants that or stimulant other than as a direct source of nutrient. The feed additive represents various classes of molecules, compounds, and organisms that promote ingestion, absorption, assimilation of nutrients, growth, and health. So feed additive on a nutshell can be referred to as any product or substance which is not usually consumed on its own, but are added to feed to enhance quality, value, and utilization. So it enhances the activity of the feed or productive performance of animals. So with the recent issue of cattle rustling and increased call for intensive farming, so the animal feed production, the need for animal feed production has increased, and additives are very, very vital aspect to add value to whatever feed that we have around. So the rational use of feed additive is strictly regulated so as to improve their quality, increase the development of feed industry. Just as I said, more people are going in for dairy farming, more are going into the for beef, that's for fattening. So the feed industry is growing. So therefore, there is need to regulate that sector. And one of the aspects to be regulated is the feed additive. So it's very crucial in feed industry and animal production. And as such, it will enhance the public health safety and will improve the quality of animal protein obtained from food-producing animals. As the feed industry is growing, as more people are going into intensive farming, be it poultry, be it a larger group of animals, they should be aware that there are some classes of products that are not allowed for use in feed. So this is one of the recent development in the VMAP NAFDAC and that we felt is very, very important for general public to be aware of this aspect.
The animal feed additives that are banned cut across 4 broad categories, and the agency has also, through in-depth research, outlined alternatives to these additives, which have also been found to be comparably more cost-efficient for farmers.
The agency discovered through a lot of research and data generated that antibiotics residue in animal products is a challenge to us in this country. And because of that, to enhance rational use of antibiotics in the livestock sector, the agency put up a policy that antibiotics should not be used in animal feed production as growth promoter. And this has been re-echoed time and time again. In the last time we had stakeholders virtual workshop, this was re-echoed and this reason was put forward. Not that antibiotics cannot be used in livestock production, but is not allowed to be used as growth promoter because of the residue, the challenges of residue that will pose to us. And alternative preferred for this are probiotics and prebiotics, then organic acid. So other items that are additives that are banned in animal feed production is antibiotics and genital violence. Genital violence and antibiotics are usually used as a mold inhibitor so that when they add it to the feed, it will prevent mold to grow on the feed and thereby reducing the risk of a production of mycotoxin in the feed so that the mycotoxin level of the feed will not be so high above threshold. However, we discovered that because of antimicrobial resistance, antibiotics are no longer allowed for use as mold inhibitor, and genital violence are equally not allowed for use because of the carcinogenic risk that it poses to the animal and invariably to man. So the alternative available for that is basically organic acid. A very good example is propionic acid, which has been found to be very effective, cost effective, and very readily available. So recently, etosequin is equally not allowed in use as additive in animal feed in Nigeria. Actually, etosequin has not been of any approval before now, but recently we discovered that people are trying to request for permit to bring in etosequin, which is not on the list of allowed feed ingredients that were jointly put together and are domiciled with Nigerian Institute of Animal Science. So the use of etosequin is basically as an antioxidant, especially in fish meal. But we discovered that there is problem with this product because of the metabolite that come out of it, and the oxidative etosequin is not safe for human consumption. And when we allow etosequin and its derivatives to or its metabolites to go into the food chain, it will pose a risk to humans. So we fall in the suit that is better we prevent a risk instead of correcting it. So the alternative to these are PHT, butyl hydroaconate, and butylate hydrotoluene, which are very effective antioxidants. Other antioxidants that can be used instead are vitamin C, then citric acid, which is an organic acid, can be used equally. Then the fourth one is cyromycin. Actually, we've been on this cyromycin for long. It has been used in Nigeria as an additive in feed, even before before VMAP came on board, before other sister regulatory bodies equally came on board. So at the advent of VMAP, we read about cyromycin, and from literature we discovered that malanin is a derivative of cyromycin. Though malanin is a non-essential amino acid, but it poses a risk at a higher level. So we instituted a feed trial on cyromycin, and the result came out, and it was discovered that the residue of cyromycin will not be out of broiler meat even at 28 days withdrawal period. What that means is when cyromycin is withdrawn from the feed for 28 days, the residue is still in the meat. And we need just 52 days to produce broiler. If you are going to produce after 52 days, we're still keeping the bird for 28 to 30 days before it can be safe for human consumption, then it is not an economical venture that any farmer should venture into. So further findings has revealed that the technical grade of cyromycin could be used by spraying it on the litter to prevent larvae going into pupa and reducing the flies in the pen. So these 4 items are critically on a NAFDAC list as banned items. And we are making effort to get our stakeholders acquainted with this regulatory policy so that as they come forward to obtain their permits for 2021, and as the agency equally prepare for 2021 regulatory activity. This set of additives will not be issued to any importer or any farmer, and it will not be allowed for use in the production of animal feed. Part of our regulatory activities in the year we compile surveillance as we used to be, and these are part of the major product we're going to check out for in animal feed to be sure that the animal feed we have in this country is very safe and of right quality. If we can remove these indicted additives from our animal feed value chain, obviously we are going to be very confident that the animal feed that will be available for use in 2021 will be safer and will be more of a good quality. And invariably, we're expecting a better livestock production performance in the year 2021.
The agency has also begun a nationwide awareness campaign to feed importers, producers, and indeed farmers themselves on these banned additives and their alternatives.
The good thing about it is the major group to enlighten or to talk to are the feed producers, and they are very well organized. All the commercial feed farmers, they are aware of this. We've reached out to them. We've sent them necessary information about it, and some that comes for import permit, they put this in. We advise them. We now delete it on the list of the import permit and advise them to put the alternatives. So it's already taking a very good course. We really advise the general public to, if possible, patronize products from known, well-established farms. If they are using their own backyard poultry or livestock, they should at least be informed that they should not slaughter any of these poultry or livestock within the withdrawal period. That's the period, if they are treated recently, they try as much as possible not to slaughter that for consumption. Let them wait. That's depending on the type of the drug, be it 7 days or 14 days before they slaughter to consume, in order to reduce the possible risks of residues of this product in the meat that will finally be on their table.
This is how far we can go on today's episode of the program, NAFDAC and Your Health. Join us same time, same station next week for another insightful episode. Remember, safeguarding the health of the nation is our collective responsibility. So report fake and unwholesome food and drugs and activities that create them in your area. If you have questions, comments, or inquiries, we'd like to hear from you. You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email nafdac@nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email reforms@nafdac.gov.ng or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded. Till next week, stay safe.